All right, boys, here's what's going to happen. We are going to take, now that we have seen all of the characters with all of their support, we are going to do a tier list of my impressions, my very first thoughts on what I think the My Hero format is going to look like. And so we have a super neat little tier list maker that I will pull up on screen right now. Hey, where we get to see how we look. I'll move my little box. Boop. All right. So yeah, here's the tier list maker. Here is every single character from My Hero Set 1. Chat, it is your job live on Twitch. If you want to join me on Twitch, please click the description down below and click on the link, hit the follow button, you'll get notified whenever I go live. Your job is to convince me to put the things in the slots that you want. Who goes where and why. And as we get through it, I am going to be moving things through. So we're going to start off with All Might. 5 hand size, 30 health. He makes his attacks really big, but he kind of peters out later on in the game. I kind of want to put All Might. I'm going to put All Might in B. I think this is where he's going to start. Not because I think All Might is bad, but because I think All Might gets beat by a lot of cards in the set. And if you haven't seen all of the cards in the set, my YouTube frogs, please, I have got character breakdowns for every single character in the entire My Hero Academia collectible card game. Go and find those. They'll be in a playlist down below. I think All Might goes in B strictly because I think he's got a lot of hard counters. But if your opponent doesn't find those counters, I think he punches you in the mouth really hard. Denki, I think, is A tier. I think this character is fast. I think this character hits very hard, and if you let his game plan go off, he will be amazing. And if you don't let his game plan go off, he will commit specific pieces on your board, and then eventually get his game plan off. Not to mention the tools inside of his kit are really hyper good for him. They're really, really good. Kirishima. I think this character is insane. I think Kirishima is arguably the best character in the game, but I could make an argument for putting him down to A tier. I could, because I want to say this S tier is like too good, right? And that's kind of how I want to. That's kind of how I want to put it. But currently, I think that he might be a terror, especially whenever we look at this guy, who I think is the best character in the game. I think he's the best character in the game, and I would not be surprised if something happens to Eraserhead to change him. The fact that how he interacts with Erase is like really, really good. How he interacts with Erase is like really solid. Tokiyami, easy A tier. Easy A tier. I think he's just gonna murder people. I think he's gonna be so good. I think if he finds aggressive hands, he is the character to fear. It's him and Shigaraki. I think Zero is actually B. I think Zero is a little too reliant on what's going on with your opponent. I think that if Zero has his game plan work, he draws a bunch of cards, which is really cool, but cards in hand don't win game. The ability to play cards wins games. But I don't think draw 2 is quite enough. It will actually, this placement from B to A will be exclusively based on how his ultra rare works in him and how good that is. Because I think the rest of his support is only okay. Yeah, that is how I feel. Midoriya. Midoriya's in C tier. I think Midoriya... Actually, Midoriya might be in B, but I have to put somebody in C, so I'm going to. I think Midoriya might be a C tier character exclusively because discard your whole hand for 10 damage is a very steep cost. It is I'm going to hit you this turn. I gotta make it big. And the only card that can really fuel ourselves back up to our printed hand size is an Enhanced Commit Foundation, which gives us 2 fresh resources again. Yes, he gets to block easier. I don't know. I think inside of his kit, he got a lot of really cool tools. And so Scavenger, I don't think that Deku's easy D tier. I'm actually not positive who on this board is D tier. Actually. Bakugo, A, easy. I think all the Bakugo was missing was support in order to push him above and beyond. I think this character I think this character is amazing, and he's one of the first characters that I'm going to be building for sure. As soon as I get physical cards, Bakugo, easy peasy. Jiro, I think Jiro could be S tier. Being able to get +1/+1 on all your moves be flash attacks, stack my opponent's deck, stack my deck, all is so free. It's all so free. And there's like so little ways to interact with what her game plan. She will only be limited by the attacks that she draws. And she gets the most value, more value than any other character in the game, for drawing 1 attack and 5 foundations. She's the best character at it because she can go foundation, 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 attack. And her move gets +4/+4, and you don't block it. And it goes to her momentum. And she stacks her deck for the next turn and do the thing. I think this character is going to be absolutely insane. Moneta, C tier. I think he's a little too reliant on what his opponent does. And if my opponent blocks, +2 damage for the rest of the turn is not quite good enough, I think. Momo, A tier. I think Momo has got a lot of stuff going for her, and I think Momo's biggest downside is she's just really hard to play. I think she's got so many moving pieces, but once she does accumulate this Voltron of a deck, right? If she gets 4 of her asset out, you're probably just dead. I don't know, besides big damage resets, what you do against that. Nomu. I'm putting Nomu in B. And the only reason that Nomu is in B is because Eraserhead is in A. If Eraserhead got banned, this character shoots up to A instantly. But the fact that Eraserhead still exists, Nomu has to be B. I think Nomu can easily beat every other character on the board, except for maybe Eraserhead, maybe Kirishima, because Kirishima can always find at least 2 blocks to fight Nomu's moves. But that means that Kirishima's debuilding himself and does not have a very proactive game plan. So there's that. Ochako, A tier. I think there's too much card pool clearing for this character to be bad. I think this character is absolutely fantastic. All of her combos are super live with Denki support. She gets support out of playable support out of Tokoyami. She gets so much stuff. She gets so much stuff, and I think this character is going to be actually fantastic. Todoroki, C tier. I think the negate is really cool. I think the negate is really good, but there aren't enough high value negates to make him consistent enough. Ida, I think Ida's an A tier. I think not being able to interact with his move, his dunk is fantastic. It's super, super good. I think this character is going to be very hyper relevant inside of the game. It's super good. Shigaraki, also A tier. I think he's rad. I think you have to play against this character very differently. You have to be afraid of this character, which is like one of my favorite things when it comes to the flavor of the My Hero card game. You should be petrified when you sit down against Shigaraki. You should be petrified when you sit down across from Nomu. If they touch you, you're just gonna melt. And it is so obvious that they found that flavor, and I love it. It's so good. Froppy, I think Froppy's in B tier in My Hero. I think in Standard she might be better. I think she's a good aggro character, but I don't think that she gets to actually out-aggro Tokoyami. I don't think she gets to out-aggro Shigaraki. I think the big thing that she gets, honestly, is she has Wall Cling in her kit. And that is like the main reason to put her up. Otherwise, I think she's like not even that great. Actually, that's a lie. She has her 1 attack that says it gets +1 damage for each of your ready face down foundations, and that card is insane. But that's like the biggest dunk that she has really access to, like that you really want to play. I don't know. I just don't see Froppy doing it. And then lastly, I got this guy in C tier. I think this guy's gonna burn out quicker than normal. I think this guy's going to flip all of his foundations and not quite be able to kill you, or you'll die. There's the trade-off, right? Either on turn 6 he'll do nothing, or we won't get to turn 6. That's just how I feel. I think this guy's going to be unbelievably fun to play, but I think there's going to be a lot of I almost had yous with this character. And if we're looking at this as like a competitive list, this is big I almost had you flash energy. So now that we're done, let's take one more quick little peeksies at the tier list and see exactly how I feel. I guess I could move Jiro down 1. And I think this might just be my personal bias of me not liking the character and thinking her game plan strategy is just like way good. She just gives me really big Cassie Cage energies of like how I want to play her. I don't think All Might gets to move up. I don't think he gets to move down. I don't even think we need a D tier, honestly. Because like all of these characters feel playable. They all feel like they can survive. They can survive in their own in this meta. If there was one character that you would move, who would it be? There's my question for you. One character gets to move from this My Hero only list. Where does it go? Hey, I'm at S tier. Hey, fair enough, fair enough. All right, I think I'm gonna bring this this video to a close. Thank you guys very much for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. I am ecstatic about the new My Hero format. I'm so excited to see what new cool things we get to experience in the universe's universal fighting system. It is going to be a blast. I'm going to leave a link to this in the description down below in this video, so please, I would absolutely love for you guys to make your own tier list, share them with your local play groups, share them online. We've got Discords, we've got Facebook groups, we've got so much for you to engage in the community, and I'd love to see you there. So with that, thank you much for watching, you guys, and I wish you well.